All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto you. How about Shema with Shah, about Shema Kakwadash, double honor to the apostle and others, great millstone. Shalom to all the I came out there pushing the word of sincerity and in truth. Yeah, I was just doing a little bit of meditations, and this came to mind on Beyonce's church. It was in the basically I was meditating about just cult followers and just wickedness that spirals all throughout the planet Earth, throughout these different celebrities, cults, because that's all it is. The word cult means worships. Scripture speak about how in the last days a lot of individuals worship the creature more than the creator. And you'll see the title of the lesson, an in-depth look into Beyonce's church. You have individuals that did interviews in the Beyonce church. And I did some research like, where the hell is this church located? Because it was big within, I think, might have been 2019. If I'm not mistaken, a few years back, I remember hearing about the church. But then it just dissipated, in the press. So I'm thinking, does this still actually exist? And if it does exist, what the hell are the people doing? So I want to try to get some type of footage, and we don't have to get, like the apostles always speak about how, the internet is a weapon, man. I don't have to drive to the said location of this church, and interview the so-called female ministers and things of that nature to get an in-depth analysis. No, you let these individuals that actually, do the work, let them do the dirty work, and we just cover, and filter things out through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah through the scriptures, man, as it is written, rightly dividing the word of truth. So you have this Beyonce mass, and you see the title, A Womanist Worship Service, how black women find their voice, represent the image of God, and create spaces for liberation. Yeah, this is no more than high-level Satanism, so-called black women empowerment. And that's why the Lord said that in the scriptures, he suffered not a woman to teach, because a woman's job is to be subservient unto the man. But you see these different women in today's time, which is the latter times, the most satanic times that the world would ever experience. Women are usurping authority, putting themselves in authoritarian positions, and this is nothing more than an offshoot of the house of Satan. If you look at these different satanic churches, if you watched any documentaries and things of that nature on how satanic churches work, then you'll see the operations of this church. This is nothing more than the church of Satan. And even if you look at, you'll see the picture of the woman, but slightly above it, I just want to scroll in. All this is demonic symbolism. What is this? This symbol is not of the scriptures, man. Everything has some type of representation, whether you know it or not, and you got these blonde ass women that, follow these different, celebrities because they have good music in their eyes. The sensation of their content actually resonates with their so-called life stories. So they think that they're worthy of worship, and they'll follow them. That's where you have, the Beyonce mass, and a mass is short for massacre. They'll use these different individuals as Judas goats. I just was going through the different events that take place, and I seen a video. Bear with me. Yeah, it was on Vice. Hey, and when you look at it, you'll see the men that's in these different churches, it's homosexuals. It's not no real man unless a man is, a mangina. That's the only type of man, that I can see that's in the church, a mangina under his woman, that's actually in these churches representing the queen bee herself, to try to, get some type of spiritual guidance. Let me read a little bit on it, because I see something in the worship services about the Hebrew Bible.
We make that about a conversation.
Vice, brothers want to watch the video on Vice. They go into the church service of Beyonce, and the scriptures speak about, rebuking these things, tearing down these strongholds. But it says, HBO Vice News, Vice's broadly recently attended a jam-packed Beyonce mass held at Grace Cathedral in San Fran, which is, of course, short for San Francisco, which was organized by Reverend and theologian Yolanda Norton. Yeah, which is this, big husky black woman, full of the holiest of demons, talking the most shit. Excuse my French, but I just watched the video and she's talking like she's on some level. You can tell she a black woman that read a lot of books, man. So her, level of education is a cut above the masses of bullshit artists that's in the group. So it's easy to pervert the minds of the simple. But it says, which is organized by Reverend and theologian Yolanda Norton, who teaches a class on Beyonce and the Hebrew Bible, where she uses the pop idol. First off, the scriptures speak about idols, and I want to get into a few scriptures, of course, but I just wanted to weigh in on these different points. Then I'm going to jump into the scriptures, where she uses the pop idol songs to interpret biblical scriptures through through a black feminist lens. Yeah, so she's changing and reinterpreting and trying to filter it through different lenses. That's witchcraft. That's the epitome of how witchcraft works, when you could take a truth, and redirect it to make it apply to somebody else that, and it has no type of, truth, it doesn't truly synchronize with the spirit of the Lord. But like I said, when you have a true witch like this lady herself, she can take substance that actually is factual and filter it through and reinterpret it with the Beyonce spin to, force feed it into the masses. Hey, what does it speak about? The mass of Beyonce, the masses of the people, and like I said, these individuals that don't do their research, they're not studious worth a damn, they eat up this shit like, like chickens, in a bird's nest, man. But I just want to click this, and hopefully, we're going to go through it and we're going to go through the scriptures. But this is the interview, few points, but here it is.
We would have with God. So if you imagine that as a prayer to God, how many...
I don't know why you love me.
And that's why I love you, right? I neglect you when I'm working. Yep, we all do that, right? So it's really about naming black female spirituality is embodied in that song.
The Lord be with you.
Also with you.
Lift up your hearts.
Lift them up to the Lord.
We live in a world where a mostly male church debates whether or not women should be ordained. But Jesus chose Mary of Nazareth, a woman of color, and another woman of color, Mary of Magdala, to be the prophet of the resurrection. So what is very clear to me is that God is a lot more comfortable entrusting his power and authority to women of color than the church is.
I've been asked time and time again, why Beyonce?
That's also witchcraft. That this individual, whoever the hell he is, he said that, Jesus of Nazareth, which we all know that that's not his name, how he deals with women on an interpersonal level. He chose Mary, as well as others, to bring forth the gospel. So why not bring forth, the gospel throughout Beyonce? Hey, Yahweh Shai himself, he rebuked that spirit of worshiping women. The Lord even rebuked Mary. That whole connotation of, Mary being, the holy one, so to speak. Now we know Mary was, a beautiful woman, so to speak, in the eyes of the Most High Yahweh, but she was a woman nonetheless. She was a servant unto the husband Joseph. We don't put, Mary above the congregation. Yahweh Shai didn't put Mary above the congregation. Like I said, if you actually read the Gospels throughout, the four books, the four respective books, the Lord put Mary in her place. And it was shown that Mary, when she had a lot of her dialogues with Yahweh Shai, Mary wasn't on no level, man. Like I said, I don't want to be too long with it, but I wanted to, go through these different points and cut cut through it, and I want to hit the scriptures, but I'm just going to read, I'm just going to continue on a little bit more on this video.
I believe that she reminds us that sometimes you have to do your thing your way. You don't do it on demand. You don't do it for your oppressor. You don't sing when they want you to sing. You sing when God tells you to sing. Never give them your song. Beyonce didn't become Beyonce on her own. I'm not standing in front of you because of anything that I've done. I'm here because of the Mary Nortons of the world, the Daisy Washingtons of the world. These are women whose names you'll never know, but black women who fought to their core to make sure that there was a better tomorrow for those who could stand in front of you and say, as a black woman, I am created in the image of God, and I am here to change the game and make the world a better place.
Yeah, so you see that they just omitting all kind of scriptures, and they're just using that as a platform to worship this woman, But this is 1 Timothy 2:12. But I suffer. Let me go up a little bit, get into the nooks and crannies of these scriptures. Verse 9, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness. You see them women ain't in the spirit of shamefacedness in that congregation. You got women on the pulpit spewing out mischievous madness. All right. These women they don't have moderate regalia. They have, I'm pretty sure certain women, knowing that they're going to go to the Beyonce mass, they're going to have top notch apparel on to show up and show out because they're women. We know how these different women in these today's times is, man. And these different women, I guarantee you that like this, it was a movie I watched that said there's an albatross under a man's neck. And a lot of these women are an albatross in these congregations. They're an albatross, on their man's necks. Look up the term albatross. Basically they got talons all over their man. These women talk the most shit, in their services, and then go home and be wiping their men's noses, man. Probably throwing hot grease on them. Putting witchcraft in their food. Look, we know these. Like the scripture speak about knowing the depths of Satan. You gotta know the depths of these demonic ass women. But it says with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair, which broided is what braids, or gold, or pearls, or costly array, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Yeah, the scriptures didn't speak about women being in these different congregations, clapping, like damn seals, with hearing the gospel. And it was never written for a woman to teach the gospel unto others. Let's go throughout all, the books of the Bible. For the most part, majority of these books were written, and administered by men. And you had a few books that were dedicated unto women, but these women they weren't pastors, so to speak, and they weren't preachers. All right. Ruth was not a pastor or a preacher. The word pastor means to, deliver ones to the pasture, and the preacher is to teach. Ruth really wasn't a teacher. Judith technically really wasn't a teacher. She had good works, the works that she shown through her faith, was something that was respected and regarded. But these women actually leading the congregation and things of that nature, for the most part, these women didn't have that jurisdiction. Now let's go. Okay, we're gonna go into the scriptures because the scriptures speak about shunning not. Now you had what was this? Delilah, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't Delilah, but Barak and Deborah. Deborah was in the midst of the men, as a judge. But that and the true essence of it was that was really like what's the word I want to find? It was something that wasn't common, for a woman to actually have that position. And that shows you how low Jake was for a woman to actually step up and to be up on a certain platform to actually, help direct Jake. But it's, and for the most part, even it tells you in Hebrews, when Paul and the different apostles and stuff, when it was written, you could tell that she was under Barak, but she showed levels of, somewhat valor up under that man. But for the most part, these women, they, should be in their place. But you see that in today's time, as it is written in Isaiah, that women will compass that of a man. But it says, but which becometh woman professing godliness with good works, let the women learn in silence with all subjection, with the word, which the word subjection means to be under the rule, under a man, in the position of quietness. You could tell that these women do not know the scripture. If that same woman that was talking the most crap on that pulpit says you women got to learn subjection and learn how to be quiet up under your men, they would probably kick her out of the congregation, man. Because that's not the narrative that's pushed. The narrative that's pushed is idol worship under the spirit of Beyonce. And we've seen plenty of clips that shows the wickedness of Beyonce, as well as her whole family line. That girl is a chief Satanist. She throws up the monoconoto in plenty of videos. The Baphomet symbol. She's of that, higher left-hand side. That's why she has a church of individuals that she's sacrificing, man. Going back into the Beyonce mass. It says, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. And like I said, when you go into it, going back to that website, go to the about and go to the congregational leaders. It's all damn women. It's not even men that's in authority. And even when you watch the video, like that was on Vice, it was homosexuals. They weren't even beta men. They were damn near, transvestites, man. Men and drag. You could tell a lot of those different men, they had certain experiences with other men. I don't want to go into the details for tube's sake, but you could tell that those men weren't on the level. But it says, verse 13, for Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Yeah, the woman stepped over the laws of Yahweh Shem Yahushua first, and she introduced that transgression unto Adam, which gradually broke down the world. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. Yeah, I wanted to keep it short and brief. There's so many more scriptures I could go into to beat down the horse of it. You brothers, of course, you could add, antennas or add legs to the lesson, if you like. But we in them times, man, where Satan is on a prowl and he's going to use these different celebrities, celebrity idols. The scriptures already spoke about not even setting idols, above you, man or statue. But you're seeing that Satan is using these different idols to pervert the minds of the people. And he's using women. He's using niggas, he's using, rappers, et cetera, to push the narratives, But we got to push against it, go against the grain, So hopefully brothers will edify. I'm going to end it by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shema, Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, Makim.